You guys want this book right here, which is our liquidity imbalance trading guide for scalpers and intraday traders, make sure you comment down below, drop the fire emoji, say, hey, I need this book. And the more comments we get, I will definitely drop this link for you guys to get for free. And additional to that, it is also important that you guys like this video too. That being said, another thing I want to mention is, guys, if you do not have a funded account, I do suggest you tapping in with Funder Pro. You do get unlimited trading days and they pay out every single week. So you want to make sure you tap into them. You can actually get 20% off using my code, which is down below. And if you do, let me know. Hopefully we can get you in and we can all start making money. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. So we're going to first talk about liquidity flow, because this is the most important part of liquidity. Right now, for some odd reason, the liquidity sweeps, liquidity grab is something that I teach, or you might hear other traders talk about. Liquidity is very popular. And I actually found a cool, nice little strategy that I use. So as you guys see here, this is the different type of flows of liquidity that happens every second of the day. Now, here's how this works. When I explain liquidity, I am referring to a pool of money that is left there that needs to be fulfilled, right? I want you guys to literally think of a swimming pool full of shrimp, and sharks are going to come in there to grab it because nobody else had took the shrimp. And that's basically what every high and every low is. Now, with the banks, smart money algorithms, they use this in their advantage to try to trap out retail traders like us every single time. And this is where that same manipulation happens. So when I talk about liquidity phases, I'm referring to how it takes the low and the high at the same time. But if you guys really master this, you can pretty much perfect when this happens in every session. And it really just depends on what you're trading. So as you see here on the left hand side, we have our structural low here. Now, typically, a lot of traders will make this assumption that, hey, market is going up, I am going to buy it at its low, right? Meaning like my support level, my supply level, or such and such. But I'll always say, before you guys buy it, be careful, because 10 times out of 10, it's going to grab that previous low and then take that move up, which is known as a stop point, right? So if you're looking here and you guys notice you get a lot of double bottoms, I know a lot of traders trade double bottom and double top, and the moment that they see it pulling here, they automatically add a limit order, right? And I'm like, don't do that, because this limit order is going to literally stop you out in a split second. If anything, do a sell stop or a buy stop. Liquidity is seeing all types of directions, and the one I really want to touch on, because I know a lot of people really don't, is a trend line, right? Typically, a lot of y'all see this trend line and you're like, when it hits this trend line, I'm buying it. No, same exact play here. The more that liquidity is bouncing off of these levels, the more valid and the more value that liquidity or that zone holds. So if you're noticing you're getting a triple bottom or a double bottom, essentially the more that it hits that level, the more value that that area holds of liquidity that is just itching to get taken out. So I always tell my students in my community that never sell it until it sweeps liquidity. After it sweeps liquidity, you wait on it to create what we call an internal high or internal low. And then from there, you wait on it to pull back and then break out of that, which gives you that true market shift. And we're going to talk about that now. So make sure you stay tuned. But it breaks through that. And then after it breaks through that, you can either enter in a displacement. You can either wait for some type of other strategy that you guys are used to or whatever, and then take the trade off of there. So we're going to dive into the market. I want to actually show you guys how this looks in a live market so you can understand completely what to look for. All right. So here you guys see, this is what a typical liquidity phase setup looks like. And we're just going to go ahead and put the dollar signs here, since we are familiar with dollar signs. And this is pretty much it. But for safe keeps, I usually actually put dollar signs phase 1 and dollar signs phase 2. But we're just going to keep it simple. So time sessions matters. And what do I mean by this is, whatever pair you trade or whatever asset you trade, notice that at this particular hour, or the end of this session, or the beginning of this session, or the middle of this session, this happens. This is why I created in my rule book that I only look for US oil trades during 9 to 10. I only like to look for Nasdaq's trades during 9 to 10, which is the beginning of New York, right? And really depend on the central, if you're Central Eastern time, but typically that's what I'm looking for. Or 8:30 for me, 8:30 Central time, which is 9:30. That's where I like to look for these trades when it comes to US 30, really. And then when it comes to oil, I like to look for it before then. And the reason being is because I notice smart money, the algorithm, they create some little fake manipulation. And within that manipulation, they like to, what we like to call play a whack-off theory play. They like to take the sellers and the buyers and create this liquidity phase. So what happens is we will never know what direction it will go first. And this is why I always say wait to see if it takes the high or the low. You can get high probabilities by looking on a higher scale and looking at previous data and you see it's going up. But just because we are scalping on a 5 minute and under, be cautious. Be cautious because that sometimes won't even be so relevant for us. So let's say we notice it took the low out. The reason why it took the low out before the certain time frame is because we had million and a million. So basically we had $10 million resting right here and they decided to take that 10 million out. Now, the problem here is traders see a breakout and they wait on that retest to go this way. But typically you got to be cautious because there's also $10 million here. And I say this all the time. If you want to make more money, why would you leave that money to begin with when you know it's there for you to take? When you know you can take it, it's like you know you have control over something, but you're just playing this, oh, I'm not gonna get it game. No, if you know you got control and you know where it's at and you know how to get to it, you're going to get to it. And that's exactly what manipulation is all about and liquidity phase is all about. So when we're looking at this, we're basically telling ourselves that, all right, since we see 10 million up here, it only makes sense for them to come up here. So typically what happens when you guys are not even paying close attention is the algorithm will go up, will go down first and then go up. So this is a very simple strategy and very simple setup. All we're waiting for is the internal high to form after it sweeps the liquidity. After it sweeps the liquidity, you can enter in what we call displacement, or, I call it aggressive candle. And then you can wait on another pullback and you can buy it all the way up to these highs right here, right? And then from there, you can either do one or two things. You can get right back in the market again and hope that it goes down. Usually, typically, it will go down depending on what the overall picture was. If it was a downtrend like this, right? It would typically create something like this, which a lot of you guys will also call this another wave pattern. But that is typically what it would do. Now, that being said, that simple strategy right there is literally all you guys need to build on to make this good money. So if you guys want to pass a funded account, like go with Funded Pro, this is a strategy that I teach and I use in my community and use for my funded accounts and use for my personal accounts to grow my accounts as well. But like I said, guys, if you want more of these videos or if you really want this PDF right here, comment down below and like this video so I know I'm gonna definitely go ahead and drop this in the link. And other than that, man, I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to see part 2 of this, just comment down below, let me know, and I'll drop part 2. Other than that, your boy Solo, I'm out. Peace.